Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. This is my Colt AR style rifle, and just for the people who like the details, this is what's called a large pin. The pins that hold the trigger in are a large pin. I think this was made like between 1990 and 2010, so they made them like for about 20 years. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a large pin, so that means there aren't that many triggers available for this one. Most of the ARs are small pin, but anyway, that's just a little detail. I got this Magpul stock. I think they call it PRS. Is it PRS Gen 3? Okay, so I'm going to put that on here because I want to be able to mount this rifle a little bit better than what you can with the original equipment stock. And it looks like I'll have to take this off and put this on so that it will fit this rifle. You see that little cutout there. So I'm going to show you how I do this on this rifle, and there are other videos putting these on other rifles, so enjoy YouTube. So I guess this is carbine style and this is rifle style, if I understand the directions correctly. I'm adding a little medium Loctite. It does come with some type of Loctite on there. You see the tan color. I'm putting a little extra because I don't like things to come loose. I think the rifle length buffer assembly is a little bit longer. That's why we're changing this out. One nice thing about the original is it does have this little storage compartment on it. We're going to try and show you a little bit inside there. It's got like a tan colored, some kind of plastic compartment. That's about it. I believe when I bought this, it actually came with a cleaning kit. And that's I think it came with a front sight adjuster. That's a front sight adjuster. I'm going to put this in my vise. I think you're all familiar with these little vise insert things that go into the mag well. So we're going to take off one pin here and with a screwdriver pin there and take the upper off. Press this little bit down here and remove the buffer spring. I cocked the hammer to get it out of the way, and then I used a little pointy tool, an awl, to hold the pin down right there at the end of the spring where I'm bouncing it. That's the pin right there. See it? Just press that down and then you can pull the whole spring out. Next, we're just going to use a large flat blade screwdriver to remove this screw here, which also has a little gas port on it. And be careful when you take this off. There'll be some parts in here, so you want to get your hand under here and just take it off slowly, okay? I took a file and made sure that my end of my screwdriver was nice and squared off, and then I put a little wrench on there and I made it real nice and square up to here and just turned it easy. There'll be a little bit of tension on that screw. There's a screw there right in the middle. That's the front takedown pin over there. Don't worry about that. So put the screw aside. Now your A2 stock is loose, and you're going to need two hands. Put your hand underneath here to catch whatever comes out. There's a little tiny spring right there. I'm trying to get it to focus, so make sure you don't lose that. That's why you got your hand underneath here. This is your buffer tube. What that is the takedown pin right here, takedown pin spring. Inside here is your A2 spacer. Okay, put that aside. So I'm obviously reading the directions as we go along here. So as far as I know, we're not taking the buffer tube off. So that's as far as taking off the old A2. I want to measure the weight of these just for you guys and gals. This is going to weigh more, but I want to tell you how much. So there's your A2, little over 5 pounds. 5 pounds, 0.1, maybe 0.2, okay? And there's your Magpul. It's 10 pounds, 8 ounces. So double the weight, but remember, this is going to only get carried from my truck to the bench, so I'm not extremely concerned about the weight. It's not a hunting rifle, and I'm not going to be carrying it on a 50-mile hike. So there you go, double the weight, from 5 pounds to 10 pounds, rough numbers. Slide your new stock on and make sure that the takedown spring, and it's got a little detente on the end of it, make sure that's still there. And then you're going to slide this up. You're going to have to back off this adjustable butt so that you can get at the screw behind here. And that is done just by using the adjuster. Might be all the way. Actually, that's all the way. So you can see, if you got long arms, you can really crank this out there over an inch. Plus, I think it's a little long to begin with. Loosen these two screws and you can lower this pad. That's another one of the adjustments also. So you can get at the screw. You're going to get through here onto the screw. So this new vented screw comes with the stock. This is the old one, okay? So it's different. Again, I put a little more Loctite. If you want to be technically correct, you should actually clean the grease, not the grease, clean the oil off the screw before you put the Loctite on there. But, I mean, it's already got original Loctite plus my Loctite, so I think I'm okay. I took a hammer, a small hammer, and tapped lightly right there to get this to move up, so there's no gap here. So you do what you want to do. And then I tighten this up, hand tight, and then I gave an extra, like 1/8 of a turn using this small adjustable wrench on the blade of the screwdriver. Plus it's got Loctite, so that's not going anywhere, okay? You know, I don't recall them saying anything about loosening this, but the instructions right now are saying to install this. Well, it's already on there. The other side of this, where my middle finger is tapping, is a quick disconnect sling mount. So it went on okay. This was tight. This was tightened. And remember, I put some Loctite on it, and it still went on okay. This one I loosened up. The instructions say to tighten this to 20 inch-pounds. I don't have that kind of a torque wrench, but I'll be getting one. And then hand tighten this. Okay, so I hand tightened this back up into place and closed up this gap on that adjustment. It doesn't say anything about putting the A2 spacer back in, so I'm going to leave that out. I think I'll give this a light coating of grease and put this back in. And it says to function test it, and there's a U.S. Army protocol, which I do not know what it is. I'll try and find it for you guys and gals, and then if I can find it, I'll show you the function test. And the rest of it, just put it back together the way it came apart. And these are the adjustments. Length of pull, comb height, butt pad height and cant, and reversible quick disconnect footman's loop, which is that right there. It's for the sling. Just did a little bit of searching on whether or not to lubricate the spring. And mine, the conclusion I'm coming to is just to make sure that the tube is clean. I looked down mine and mine's clean. This probably doesn't even have 500 rounds shot out of it. So it's clean. If it needs, if yours is dirty, clean it out with some whatever cleaning fluid is your favorite, and very light lubing with an oily rag. I am going to put a little bit of this. It's just a grease. This is some German grease. Has to do with disc brakes actually, but I'm just going to put a little, very light coating of grease on here because the bolt carrier group comes back and hits this, and you know this is the recoil spring or the buffer spring, and that's part of what's cycling. So just going to put a little bit of grease on that. That's all. That's just my thing, not scientific, just me. Just so you can see, that's it. Now, I've seen another guy just load up with white silicone grease, just loading up the spring and everything. You got to be careful you don't create a trap for little particles and dirt and dust and debris and everything. Dry parts don't collect that crap as much as really well-oiled part. So that's what I'm going to do. You do what you want to do. Okay, so that's it. That's all I got. I put a little bit of a adjustment on here just so you could see it. It'll come up a lot more than that. And I put in a little adjustment down there. And you know about the length of pull. So give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to the channel if you want more from Froggy. Ring the bell if you want notifications. Be safe. Have fun. Froggy out. Let's go, Brandon. This is 2024. We're going to have an election this year. Just as a side note, I was thinking of, this is like a tribute to Vietnam era. So the olive drab, I was thinking of doing this front grip olive drab, possibly the vertical grip also. Tell me what you guys and gals think about that. And this is going to have a scope on it too, because my old eyes just can't see the iron sights very well. So it is going to have a scope on it. But tell me what you think about changing the color of that and maybe the vertical grip. Okay? Bye-bye.